X-Men Apocalypse is directed by Bryan Singer, yet again, the 4th X-Men movie from him. My God, he's made a lot of X-Men movies, and he always starts them off the same. I'm gonna just start with that. He always in all of his movies, they always start with the X thing. It's not a criticism, I just noticed. Anyway, and it stars the new cast of X-Men that we know. Michael Fassbender, we got James McAvoy in there, Jennifer Lawrence, phoning it in a little bit, but I thought she was fine. But we got the newcomer, the big baddie, Oscar Isaac in there, and he plays Apocalypse. And the movie is basically about this first mutant that he gets all these powers of all the mutants, and then he ends up going to sleep for many millennia, and then he wakes up in the 80s where this movie takes place, which is cool to see because it's in the 80s. The last one was in the 70s and it had all the culture thing, and it's the same thing in this movie, so that was cool to see. Anyway, he wakes up in the 80s, and then he discovers that mankind has kind of messed with his creation of the world that he was, creating, and he's like, he wants to take control of everything and get rid of all the humans and X-Men Supreme, and that's kind of the theme of a lot of X-Men movies is like, mutants, and the X-Men have to come and stop him or whatever, but that's basically his plan, and the X-Men have to come and stop him. And there's a lot of new recruits to the X-Men this time. We got Cyclops coming as a young kid. We got Jean Grey. And it's really cool to see that. We got Nightcrawler. And it's cool to see the introduction of these characters that we've seen in movies before. But they're new, and they're young and they're done right. And it was really cool to see that. I thought the actors did a really good job portraying them. And I thought everybody in this movie really, did a really good job in their role. And especially the characters that we already know so well, it's cool to see new layers be pulled back on them, especially with Magneto. Michael Fassbender really, I thought, had the most heart of this movie because he kind of goes away and just forms a simple life for himself, and then it gets all torn away, and the emotion that he brings when that happens, you could see just how good of an actor he is in those scenes. I thought he was the best performer in this thing. But everybody else does a good job. And Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse actually really surprised me because in the trailers I was like, he looks okay. Like, we'll see how it is. I mean, it doesn't even look like Oscar Isaac. But in the movie, ended up, I was like, oh no, you can definitely tell that's Oscar Isaac. And you could see he gave a good performance. I just didn't expect that because he's like the big baddie and he grows and all this stuff. And I was like, is he just going to be too powerful? Which he probably is. Like, my God, he's way too powerful. But Oscar Isaac does a good job of making him menacing, making him relatable, making him even a little bit funny in certain scenes. And I thought he did a great job portraying this character that I didn't really know what to expect. And I actually really ended up enjoying. I thought he was a very good villain. But here's the thing with this movie. I'm not the biggest X-Men fan. It's probably my least favorite superhero out of, there's Marvel movies and there's DC movies. X-Men is probably my least favorite, but it's something that I enjoy watching these movies. I had a good time watching this movie. I thought that it definitely stalled a little bit in the middle. There was definitely a lot of confusion also thrown in with the plot and some things that were confusing, and even towards the end you somewhat figure it out, but then you just forget about some things. But besides those little things, I really actually enjoyed watching this movie. I thought the performances were good. I thought Bryan Singer did a good job directing. I really enjoyed watching this movie. I didn't love it. It's I really enjoyed watching it, but it's not it's not my favorite superhero movie of the year. I mean, but there's been so many good superhero movies this year. Deadpool is amazing. I loved Captain America, and I love Batman, Superman. But this is a good superhero movie that came out this year. I enjoyed watching it. I'd go to see it again because I enjoyed watching it that much. It's just that the story kind of gets mumble jumbled a little bit in the middle. But I could deal with that. I would recommend seeing this movie. It's a lot of cool action, and it's cool seeing the X-Men. So I'm going to go 4 out of 5 for X-Men Apocalypse, a movie that I recommend. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this and you want to see more reviews from a guy like me, Tom Waterloo, then please like and share this video, leave a comment down below, and most importantly, subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next time.